Who's used the Flickershads before? Great for lead core trolling. The size, if you pull lead core, the size 5 Flickershad is one of the best baits for walleyes, period. Just is. Has a great walleye action, has a deep rattle. For those of you who have used them, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, they're available in 5s and 7s. Sharp, strong hooks, has a great rattle chamber. We're talking about colors, and here's where I'm not going to just talk about Flickershads, okay? One of the most popular questions we get when we do seminars is someone raises their hand and says, what's the best crankbait color for walleyes, right? And it's impossible to answer. It's absolutely impossible. Depends on water clarity, depends on the system you're in. A lot of times, we say forage colors here, right? You hear a lot, whether it's with crankbaits or with spinners, you hear match the hatch, right? What color should I use? I should match the hatch. If you have smelt in the system, match something to that color. If you have a lot of crayfish, maybe something that's got orange or red. So matching the hatch is a good thing. So your silver blacks, gold blacks, a shad, an orange shad, which is like a crayfish. These are just the Flickershad colors. But all the lines of crankbaits out there have colors very similar. Those are good colors for walleyes. I will tell you, if I had to pick one color for all systems, if I could only take one color crankbait, it would be that white and black one on the front page. Something that looks like a shad, kind of like a smelt, that color. Overall, it's just a really good color. Actually, it's right here, the pearl white. Shad wraps have a pearl white, right? Everyone's seen the pearl white shad wrap. Very good walleye color. Chartreuse and pearl is good. For green bay, anything with purples are good. The water's real clear on Green Bay. Clear water situations, whites, purples, blues are good. Those are good colors, but that's a general rule of thumb. I'm not saying you can't take a fire tiger out there in clear water and catch fish, because you can. Fishing is trial and error. Okay, as everyone knows, you got to try things. If I'm not catching fish throughout the day and a practice day, when we're practicing for tournaments, I will switch colors. I don't know, switch colors and baits, 100 times during the day. I will always constantly be switching out to try to find a color or a bait that fires off more. So a fire tiger, blue tiger, purple tiger, red tiger. We'll just go through these real quick. Clowns are good colors. Rainbow spectrums, which is rainbow trout basically. The old 139 color from the deep junior thunder sticks, that's what this is. Hollywood, which is cheap sunglasses in the reef runner line. There's just a lot of colors out there. I'm basically trying to tell you, don't just stick to one color, because there's always things, depending on the light, that will catch you more fish. Here's just a little graph for you, and this is based on surface temperature, okay? And this is a general guideline. Here's a general guideline. When the surface temperature is 50 or below, that's where, if we're casting or trolling, we like to use stick baits. You know, your rogues, your shallow diving thunder sticks, baits like that, the long slender ones that don't dive very deep, okay? That's a general rule of thumb. So stick baits, when you get up into the 50 to 70 degree water temps, which is for most of the year, okay? That's most of the year what the water is going to be. That's where your shad style baits, you know, baits like a walleye diver, shad wrap, Flickershad, all the baits that you hear about walleye, you know, being good walleye baits, that's where most of them sit. So if you're going to go out and look for good crankbaits for walleyes, I'm going to tell you, most of the ones you buy should be in this moderate action category. Okay? Don't go out and buy, you know, unless you only fish in the summer, don't go out and buy a bunch of Hottentots and think they're going to work when the water's cold, because they don't work very well. So just a little guide on action. When you get 70 or above, that's when your large divers work. Your Hottentots, your reef runners, one of the best crankbaits for Green Bay, period. The deep diving reef runner is phenomenal. Purple Prism's pretty good for color, by the way. But try things different, but that's a general rule of thumb. You can kind of look at the surface temp and say, this is the kind of crankbait I should start out with.